back to the second part of our Yosemite adventure, our hike up the top of one of America's most scenic waterfalls, the Upper Yosemite Falls. In the last edition of the Hiking Journal, Dave, Jerry, and I drove up from Southern California into Yosemite National Park and checked into the Wawona campground. Here we got a first-hand look at the mighty Merced River at flood stage. In the morning, after a hot cup of coffee, we took a drive through the magnificent Wawona Tunnel and admired the spectacular Bridal Veil Falls. After catching our breath, we took a walk around the swinging bridge almost underwater and caught our first real glimpse of what would be our route today, the Upper Yosemite Falls Trail. From here, we parked at legendary Camp 4 and started up the Upper Yosemite Falls Trail toward Columbia Rock and its amazing views out over Yosemite Valley. Here we get a bird's eye view of the magnitude of the flooding throughout the park. Our story picks up here as we continue climbing up the steep staircase under the mist of the falls blowing over the trail and into a narrow defile between huge granite monoliths and our final ascent to view Upper Yosemite Falls. After taking in the tremendous views from the top of Yosemite Falls, we decided to head back up Yosemite Creek to see the scenic wooden footbridge. Here, the magnitude and volume of snowmelt rushed under the bridge and seemingly dropped out of sight over the ledge thousands of feet below. We get pretty wet now. Well, we can feel the spray all the way from here. And every now and then, the mist and the breeze is carrying it right toward us. So it looks like our trail is going to go to the left and go up to the top. It's pretty impressive. These are some magnificent falls. We can feel the spray even from here as we're hiking toward the front there. It's impressive. Well, we're slowly but surely getting there. That's Yosemite Falls. We're working our way up to the top. We got to go this way still. We're going to be going up a notch. It goes up to the top over there. But man, what a spectacular view. And not only do we have a view of the falls, we've also got a view of the valley down below in Hampton. That booming you're hearing is the impact of the falls on the rocks below. Well, we're getting there, but I'll tell you what. These steps are steep. The sun is intense. Feels like we're hiking in an oven right now. Top of the falls are up here, but we've got probably 500 feet to go. All we got to show for it right now is a view. And some steep granite. That's our climb.
Hey, it's got smooth paths.
We're almost at the top of Yosemite Falls. Not quite. We're still climbing. But once you get to this upper section, we're going to veer off to the right and work our way to the uppermost point of the falls. And at least we don't have to worry about water.
Found the trail signs and the snow.
Well, we're working our way to Yosemite Falls where we've topped out and now we've got this easy sandy trail. We can hear it off the left. We had to go over a little snow patch. Now we're just working our way. I imagine this is probably north and east, I think. So we're working our way over to the drop-off, Yosemite Falls. A really tough day. It's hot up here. It's going to feel good to get wet a little bit, maybe. And then we'll see. A little bit of snow to contend with. Small little patch. Ooh, that's a good post hole. That's like a 3-foot drop. Not a big deal. We're 0.2 of a mile to the top of Yosemite Falls. Well, this is the top of Yosemite Falls. Right down there is the precipice, that's the drop. Down to the valley below. top of Yosemite Falls. You can see all the Yosemite Valley down below. You can see here around the corner, we can see Half Dome, all into the upper elevations of Yosemite. It's got a nice cool breeze here. It's got some shade. And, we're going to go up here, part of the hill, and take a break, get some lunch, rehydrate. We got to head down, back down to the valley.
I'm Stephanie. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts. I'm Karen, also from Boston.
You guys enjoying Yosemite National Park?
It's been delightful.
What do you think of Yosemite Falls?
Beautiful. Very
Now,
impressive.
are you guys going to do anything else while you're here?
So many things. It's
So-
our first day, first full day.
Oh, there we go.
And lots more hiking for the next summer thing.
Well, if you ever wondered what it looked like at the top of Yosemite Falls, it's coming out of the upper elevation, flowing down through this narrow gorge, and then right over here it drops off. Alright, well this is the upper end of Yosemite Falls. And the water flows from the high country. Turns into this raging river. That's the drop right there. From that point right there, it drops down. Here I am, we're at the top of Yosemite Falls. As the water flows downstream right here, it drops right over the edge right there, all the way down to Yosemite Valley. I don't know how far it is. It's a long way though. Very impressive up here. And what a gorgeous day to be up at Yosemite National Park. After a brief stop in the shade to eat lunch, we started back down the trail from the top of Yosemite Falls, 3,000 feet below. Now, some folks say going down is harder on your knees than going up the Yosemite Falls trail, and even though I felt fine, I could definitely feel it. The steep stairs had a fine layer of decomposed rock and sand on top, and you had to be extra careful to avoid slipping. My biggest fear was a slip and sudden jam to a stop, blowing out my surgically repaired knee. Damn, I wish I would have brought my trekking poles on this one. One blessing going down the trail from the upper Yosemite Falls in the afternoon was that the glaring morning sun and the heat had ducked behind the cliff, providing a welcome shade and a refreshingly cool breeze. One factor we hadn't really considered was that with a massive water flow cascading down Yosemite Creek, as the day wore on, more snow melted into higher elevations. This added to the tremendous volume of water already flowing over the falls, which seemed to increase the amount of spray going up over the top and onto our trail. On the way up, water flowed out from rocks above the trail and over it, falling below us. This caused only minor inconvenience, as you could in most places just hop across and stay dry. Now it was a totally different story. What was before small streams rifling through our path were now rivers, submerging the trail over ankle-deep in spots. To add to the difficulty, the afternoon breeze had picked up and blew even more waterfall mist right on top of us. What was before just a light, refreshing mist drifting through the trees was now a heavy rain slamming into us sideways and raining down upon us from the soaked treetops above. Runoff over the trail and the rain from above were no match for Gore-Tex boots and a rain shell, and we had neither. I was soaked to the core, my shirt drenched and my breathable ultra-low pieces saturated to the point where they squished with every step. Dave and Jerry were no better off, and even though we laughed at our predicament, we realized the danger of slipping on wet granite, our tired and rubbery legs no longer strong enough to stop our fall. Then suddenly, it happened. Now, I didn't see it, as I was leading and focused on not slipping myself. I looked back and I couldn't see Dave and Jerry. Even though I was under a shower faucet of water from the falls, I stopped under some heavy branches to wait for them to catch up. Well, this is my trail. As we're working our way down from Yosemite Falls, the waterfall is right there. And the mist is what's splattering and misting all over the trail along with the runoff right here. Well, right now I'm in the splash zone. The falls are right over here, and the mist is just coming down, and it's saturating the trees, it's saturating the trail, and this is why they said you needed rain gear. It feels pretty good to me. It's still warm, but hopefully Jerry and Dave will be right behind me on the trail here, and I can get out of this wet zone. And shoes and socks are soaking wet. Within a few minutes, I saw them slowly and cautiously descending the stairs, leaning on their trekking poles for balance. Right here alongside Yosemite Falls. The falls are right behind me, they're over here, and the falls are raging right here, and the water is just blowing the mist. The wind's blowing the mist right onto the trail. There's all kinds of water flowing over the trail. There's no way to really get around it. Some places you can kind of hop over, some places you can't. I was able to hop over most of it, but then I had to, wade through part of it, so my shoes and socks were soaked. So this is what they call the splash zone. It's in the mist field from Yosemite Falls. We're working our way down. We're not too far from the car, probably a mile and a half maybe. We still got probably 1,500, 2,000 feet to descend. So we still got a long way to go, and my legs are tired. I'm going to be hurting tonight.
Where did that wet part come in? Huh?
Good Lord! That is a lot of water!
It's like a perpetual rain now. It's not even a mist, it's an actual rain coming down.
What? I didn't hear this in the weather forecast.
As they passed, Jerry whispered that Dave took a nasty fall on his back and narrowly avoided hitting back his head on some sharp rocks. Shaken, Dave slowed his pace, and Jerry, being a better wingman than me, was right on his heels to help him if he needed it. It was a relief, to say the least, when we finally emerged out from under the umbrella of the falls and onto a much drier, if not steeper and rockier section of trail. We cruised right by Columbia Rock without even stopping and reached the valley floor safely. Well, we finally made it down the upper Yosemite Falls trail. Boy, what a day. It was an all-day adventure. We got a little bit of a late start. We got stuck behind a bozo going 15 miles an hour for 45 minutes. So we got here a little later than normal, but we went to the top. We saw the top of the falls. We hiked back down, and I got soaking wet. Went over and visited the bridge, and boy, we earned our money today. So now we're going to see if we can go over and find us a pizza and some beer. We need it today. Anyway, catch up with you pretty soon. By the time we stowed our packs and dried off a bit, we decided to head over to Curry Village to get an ice-cold beer and some hot pizza. Now, we had been to the Deck before, a local favorite for pizza in the valley, and I was not only hungry but dehydrated as well. I couldn't get in that line fast enough for an ice-cold Blue Moon, an unfiltered wheat ale spiced with a perfect combination of orange peels and coriander. Jerry, who doesn't drink, craved an ice-cold soda, filled all the way to the top with large chunks of ice. Sitting outside on the deck and eating our well-deserved pizza, our legs ached, but the endorphins flowed, easing our pain from what was a tough but epic hike. These are the times we will remember for a lifetime. Good friends, good food, and epic views over Yosemite Falls in America's greatest national park. On the long drive out of the park, we cruised slowly as the setting sun cast long shadows over the valley floor. Every tree stump resembled a bear to our oversaturated senses, and the roaring Merced flowed over the road, slowing traffic to a crawl in spots. Well, we made it back from Yosemite Village, from Yosemite Falls, and then now we're trying to get over to Yosemite Village or Curry Village. It's in here, but the bridge is closed, so we don't know what we're going to do or how we're going to get over there unless we go all the way over to the end of the valley and cross back over. But this time of day is gorgeous. It's nice driving through the trees, and the sun's hitting the peaks. It's pretty. Maybe we get lucky to see a bear. While I was watching the roaring river to my left, Jerry suddenly yelled, "Stop!" I hit the brakes as two baby ducklings darted out into the road in front of me. Fearing they'd be struck by other vehicles rushing around us, Jerry jumped out of the Jeep and attempted to escort them safely across the road.
Jerry's trying to herd the baby ducklings off the road.
Once the ducklings were safely across the road, I pulled over into a parking spot and admired the river enticingly close to the sidewalk with a tremendous evening view of Bridal Veil Falls. Simply magnificent. Well, this is the valley view of Bridal Veil Falls, and look at the size of the river. It's all the way up to the sidewalk. They've actually got rope here, so you can't flagging tape, so you can't actually get close to the river. Well, this is Bridal Veil Falls, right at dusk. By the time we made the 45-minute drive out of the park and back to our campsite in Wawona, it was almost 9 o'clock. We'd sleep really good tonight, as long as our legs didn't cramp up. Well, that'll do it for this second part of our Yosemite Falls adventure, our hike up to the top of Upper Yosemite Falls. In the third and final part of our adventure into Yosemite National Park, Jerry and I head back into the valley and fight the hordes of people hiking up to the most popular trail in Yosemite, the Mist Trail to Vernal Falls. Here, parking was at a premium, and with a later start than usual, Jerry and I wove our way up the steep trail toward thundering Vernal Falls. That'll all be coming up in the next edition of the Hiking Journal. As always, be sure and click and subscribe and hit that like button. And also don't forget to tap that notification bell to get the latest updates to the channel as I post. I've been really busy since our Yosemite adventure, going on several day hikes, and I have quite a bit in the can, as they say in Hollywood. I can't wait to share some of my adventures with you. Alrighty, take care, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.